So this is Dale Moore, and this is my flowchart for my invasive species Captivate. Let me say off the top that this was challenging for me because I really have never worked with a flowchart before. So I did the best I can, and I think I've got a pretty strong backbone for my Captivate project. Where the learner will start is right here with ecosystems. And this will allow them to get a basic foundation or idea of what's going on with the Captivate system, which will then take them to a choice where they can choose which way they'd like to go. They can explore shallow water tide pools, coral reefs, mangroves, and other types of reefs that we can find off here in the coasts of South Florida. Now, each of these will always lead back ultimately to the coral reefs to push forward into the food chain of the coral reef. I've thought about putting some type of quiz or just a quick matching in between here, and I'm not really sure how that would flow or not. I'm thinking when I do the Captivate I could see that, unless somebody has some input in this area. I'd love to hear it. And then we have the food chain of the coral reef taking us down into the full Florida coral reef specific. So this is a general idea of a food chain of a coral reef, taking it to the more specific areas of the Florida coral reefs here in South Florida. Again, an explore choice where they can look at the native game fish that they might find in this area, native ornamental fish. I picked this because those are important, especially in the aquaria trade, and invasive fish. Ultimately, this is the area I'd like them to be able to move on from this area. Thought about having these interconnected again. Not sure and still trying to figure out exactly how I'd like to do that. But any suggestions are welcome, of course. From there, we move on into the lionfish, which is our specific target. An explorer possibility where they can move on into lionfish's concurrent invasive range or area that they have now, how they were introduced here to South Florida, their impact on our food chain and these other areas back here. So this idea connects back to these earlier ideas so that we have a direct picture of what's going on. My thought is big idea and slowly focusing it sort of like an upside down triangle into these areas as well. Now, I wasn't sure if I should go from here or to the impact, and to be honest with you, I think probably in hindsight, looking at this again, impact is more the feeling here, so that's something that I'll change. And then, of course, possible solutions in a few areas here as far as helping to take care of these animals, and review. From the review, I will have remediation that goes back to these different levels